We're all in the woods and we all want to cut down trees. Some of us have a butter knife, some of us have an axe, and some people have a chainsaw. What do you have? And what do you want to have? Trees are coming down, but not enough for my goals and where I want to go. So now I kind of view myself as more of a professional because I now have processes. I know how to frame my conversations and book appointments and then have a structure from there. Before it was just kind of Wild West, no process, no framework. I was just compensating for it by doing a lot of marketing. And, you do enough marketing, somebody's going to call you, but you got to know what to say when they call you.
You are listening to the number one real estate podcast in the world. We talk with real estate professionals all across North America about their wins, losses, lessons, and stories help you win in your local market today. My name is Cody from Sheridan Street. I'm joined by Vikram Deal of the Real Estate Skills Academy, now Sheridan Street. Vic, what's up, man? What's up? How you doing?
Just getting beat up from you and Jan left and right about my audio sucking.
Somebody has to.
Not being in my expansive studio. We haven't introduced you yet, Jan. You're still technically in the green room, so could you just
I'll just keep
for
it
a second?
Yeah, let me.
By the way, we are looking for guests, so we can just beat up more people. What's up,
I'm gonna take the elevator down.
You guys, if you're not watching this live, you have to. This would only happen with Jan on the podcast. You just got back from Mallorca swimming with the dolphins and Carol G. How was that?
Oh, man, it was, a little bit of Carol G, a little bit of Fade, a little bit of Miko. Yeah, man, Mallorca was great. It was the highlight of the trip, hands down. If anyone wants to go to Spain, just go to Mallorca. It was the best spot. It was good, man. Happy to be back in Medellin, though. Happy to be back home, situated. It's good. Yeah. How about you, man? How are things?
Yeah, man, things are good. I'm going to go get LASIK surgery next week. So,
oh, damn.
If there's any podcasts, count me out. I'm not going to be on it next Friday. So, yeah, gonna go get LASIK. I've been super scared of and super wanting to do since I was, 18 or 19. And I always found an excuse from time or money or, it's funny how you self-sabotage things then you show up and you're 40 years old.
Hey, can I offer you a different perspective?
Sure. Jan-Michael, who nobody even knows who you are yet.
I mean, the glasses you have on, what if you look better with glasses? What if that's just as good as you can look?
Bro, please, Jan-Michael, I haven't shaved in a week. We're wearing glasses. I was totally dilated. This is far from my highlight reels. Yeah.
What was it you saw about LASIK that kind of drew you in?
Is he trying to trizz me?
Wow. I can't trizz him.
Okay.
Just because I don't have coach in front of my name. Just because we can't fit coach in front of my name doesn't mean I don't know the trizz.
I mean, you got 9 names here, so we don't even know which one to call you. Do we call you Jan today, Michael today, McClintic today? Just Jan?
Michael's in the green room. I'm the one that's live.
Gosh, Michael's way more relaxed. Michael's a much better
chill.
Human being. Well, we may as well, since Cody, Jan's completely ruined everything we've ever done before for the last 280 episodes.
Yeah.
Jan and I have been working together now for almost 5-6 months, and he joined the Triz community, the Trust Report Influence Sales Method, 5 or 6 months ago, and it wasn't like he was slouching. I mean, he had a fairly decent year. The year before, he just wanted to up level himself. He wanted to hang out with me because I'm probably cooler than any of his friends he currently has.
And I don't have any friends. Thanks for asking.
I don't want to throw you completely under the bus. I can't imagine your silly banter doesn't land with everybody.
Right.
It's amazing you have clients with that banter, but I guess it works in Jersey.
Miracles. It's just a miracle.
Yeah, but Jan's a good dude. Behind all of this facade and jokester, he's actually got a super big heart. And he's actually one of our new tribe leaders inside of the Trust Report Influence Sales Method. So it's pretty cool to see his growth over the last few years. I don't know where you're at in New Jersey. I think New Jersey just has one city, so you're in that one city, correct? Is it?
Well,
is it
most people
Jersey
refer to
Shores?
New Jersey. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for asking. Most people refer to New Jersey as West Manhattan. But West Manhattan's broken down into North, Central, and South.
I
And
thought people called it. I thought people called it Poor Manhattan. The poor man's Manhattan.
Yeah, if I could just finish here. It's just Central West Manhattan. If you don't mind, if I could just wrap that thought up without being interrupted. I'm in the greater Central West Manhattan area. So thanks for asking. And yeah. And I don't know how I ended up here. I think my wife works in the area and I just followed her. But luckily she moved us to an area that has decently priced homes. So if I can just sell a few of them a year, I can go to Disney World every February.
Yeah, you're on track to do like 30 of those sales this year, give or take, which is kind of crazy because last year you did not even half of that.
Not even. Yeah, I did. I don't really count number of houses. Just it's more 13. Of a volume. I use volume. Yeah,
it was 13. And, it was 13. I mean, I
just if I was at 13 now, 20 something, 25. We'll see how the rest of the year goes. But a lot of it happened in the last 3 months, which has been painful. But I'm here. I'm still alive. You know, when you go from moderately busy to very, very busy, you find a lot of holes in your business. So I may have to hire a operations coach. It's nice meeting you guys. I'm actually checking out now to go meet with him.
You mean Cody?
Yeah.
You talking about Cody? He's like actually sitting in the middle of us right now.
Oh yeah, forgot about Cody's here. Cody, please send me your Venmo link.
I'm gonna
need some help after this. But I don't know. It's funny. I'm even doing real estate.
When you say it's funny,
Just be a mobile DJ.
When you say it's funny, you're doing real estate. Like what did you do before real estate? Like what was the Never
thought you'd ask. Yeah. I teed up my own question. I did. That's what I have to do with you guys. So back in 2007, I think that was like 20 years ago. I was in college.
Jeez, that is like 17.
Somehow I got into DJing. Actually, it's a funny story. That's my first experience with marketing. So I was in a fraternity at Rutgers, and I went to Las Vegas in September 2007, and I saw, I think, like Fetty LeGrand at the Hard Rock back when like pool parties just started. They weren't even a thing. I forget. I think it was called Rehab. I probably should have went to Rehab at the time, but the pool party was called Rehab. And I came back. I'm like, I could do what that guy did, you know, just knowing nothing about it. So I went to Best Buy, which is not where you buy DJ equipment, I found out. And I'm like, this is back when you bought CDs for software. And you weren't really downloading software back then. And I'm like, I go to the Geek Squad. I'm like, DJ software, please. And they're like, what? We don't have that here. I'm like, he's like, we sell like Windows. So they sent me to Guitar Center, and I opened a credit card, just completely reckless. And I'm like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to go all in, which is kind of like my mantra. You know, you do something, just do it right or don't do it. So I bought DJ equipment, no idea how to use it. I just started playing like at my frat parties. And I'm like, oh, well, if I'm going to have this equipment, I should probably pay off this credit card. I can't just do this for free every day. So I was terrible, by the way, the worst DJ in the world. And I knew it too. But I knew I could fake it till I made it. And so like I had some friends at bars, and they were also like bouncers and promoters. So I kind of leveraged that relationship, and I met the owners of the clubs and bars at Rutgers, which was only like 2. So I'm like, listen, what's your slowest night? He's like, I think he said Wednesdays. I can't get anybody in here. I'm like, all right, I'll bring all my fans next Wednesday. He's like, oh, sure you will, kid. Can't wait to see all your fans. So I went back. We had pledges, which are
I think they're called legal minions. Legal minions.
Yeah, if you could just delete that.
That's the appropriate term.
Yeah,
legal minion. Yeah.
Free help I had, and I bought some. I bought iron-on letters and T-shirts, and I had them make a bunch of shirts with my name on it with funny sayings on the back. And they gave those out to all the Pledge brothers and their girlfriends. So it said I said Giacomo Beats on the front, which is a name I came up with and I was smoking weed or something was in the weed. I don't know what it was, but it was Giacomo Beats on the front.
Jesus.
And on the back, it said the cure for ear cancer, or it said like ambidextrous and like, just crazy sayings on the back. And I had the townsfolk wore these shirts on the next Wednesday at the club, and it was like 20, 30 people. And so I was back there playing. I was horrible. He's like, well, you're not great, but, since you have all these fans, I'll give you every Tuesday, which was like actually a busy night in college. So then I had to actually learn.
Taco Tuesday.
It was Turbo Tuesday. Thank you.
Gotcha.
So then I had to actually learn what I was doing because now I'm a resident at this bar, Popular Rutgers bar.
Resident DJ.
I was a resident DJ. I made like $75 every Tuesday, which was pretty good. And then I eventually got Thursdays. So I was there every Tuesday and Thursday. And I was making like 150, 200 a week. And that was like enough in college to buy tacos and
when inflation
and
was at
Busch Light.
49%.
Mississippi water. We had plenty of Mississippi water every week.
So let's fast forward. How is your, because you do some fun stuff inside. I mean, after you learned, the Triz method and you've been installing that, you still did cool stuff before we met. Like your open houses are pretty, like one of the things that I love about you is that you are just authentically Jan. Whether we like it or not, you just have one switch and it's you. And I find that to be very like endearing because so many people get into sales and you change, you mimic, you mirror, right? Like if you're with somebody who's, financial professional, suit and tie, you're going to lay off on some of the humor on that first initial appointment. And then, you might layer it in if they're, if you find that there's an opportunity. But like you've always done this pretty good self-promotion. But it doesn't come off super like it's kind of dorky, cheesy, but it's really effective. And I've seen some of your open house videos. I've seen the way you promote. I mean, shit, we were talking at 11:30 your time, 10:30 my time on like a Thursday, and you're in the basement, like full on cleaning these people's house because they're cleaners. Right. This is the stuff that people don't talk about, but like you were full on cleaning their house, like scrubbing, cleaning, spiders, bugs, the whole shit. A lot of things that you tell the people to do, give them the checklist and like, okay, we did it. And then you go and inspect the property. You're like, this is not ready for my style of house. Right. So your preparation is really good at this point, but your promotion is really good. Right. Like, talk to me a little bit about your flyer setup, your mailer. Well, first, let's do this. Let's switch gears. What have you noticed different about your conversation? Because you've done really good promotion in the past, but now you're getting a lot more out of it. So you're getting more for your time. What has changed since you started working in the Triz program?
Just the conversion rate. I don't have to make as many calls or go on as many appointments because I can convert people that I'm already talking to. Or, I'm more confident in booking appointments. I never really booked buyer consults, before this program. I think I did one, which was my first showing ever, like 4 years ago, just because my broker told me to. And I didn't know what to say when I was there. There's zero training. They're like, just meet with him, figure out what he's looking for. I'm like, all right, that's what I did. But that was better than nothing, in hindsight, because most agents don't even do that. Just meet them at the house.
They just show up and they have the key in their hand. Like, you want to go look at the home?
Since I started, I invested money from the beginning. Like I've always treated this like a business, and because I had experience with business, because I had a DJ business and I still have it. So I was pretty proficient in marketing and I knew a little bit about sales, but I invested, pretty heavily in Zillow for a new agent. I probably spent like $30,000 before I even made my first sale. And so I was doing that for like 6 months.
So you were, because there's a lot of people that have a lot of leads in their database that they don't do anything with.
Yeah.
Were you calling these people or were you just waiting for them to say, hey, Jan, I want to go buy a house and I'm ready to use you?
I was just using ALM, which is what Zillow teaches you, appointment, location and motivation. And I was just doing live transfers, Pop-Tart, comes out of toaster, and I run and do the showing. But back in 2020, the fish were jumping in the boat. Like I had,
Right.
I had they were just buying because there's 3% interest rates, 2% interest rates. But a funny thing happened, over the next 3-4 years, I was doing less and less appointments. And I'm like, this is getting hard. These people don't really want to buy. I thought it was like, these people are weird now. I didn't realize the market changed.
When the market did change, I guess because you didn't start working with Vic until about 6 months ago, what did processes look prior to work the Triz method to now? What are some of the biggest differences you're seeing in your day-to-day operations of running your business now and actually, being able to have less conversations to book more appointments? Walk us through a little bit of that.
I went from being a patient to being a doctor. So now I kind of view myself as more of a professional versus before, because I now have processes. I know how to frame my conversations and book appointments and then have a structure from there. Before it was just kind of Wild West, no process, no framework I was just compensating for it by doing a lot of marketing. And, you do enough marketing, somebody's going to call you, but you got to know what to say when they call you. So now my conversion ratio is just much higher. I don't have a ton more leads. It's the same amount of marketing spend, actually a little less. I'm actually pulling back on marketing and just working on getting more referrals and converting leads I already have. You realize you don't need more leads. You just need to talk to them better, book more appointments.
A lot of people don't realize that the reason why you get referrals or you don't get referrals, one, it's longevity, right? If you're not around for a really long time, you're not going to get as many referrals. But I remember my old Brady Yeager, he was my old loan officer. And I remember when I first sat down with him, I'd done a $5, $10, $15 million, and somebody had introduced us together hey, he's like a kind of young guy, up and coming, right? And this is 10 years ago when, $10 million wasn't a starter home. You actually had to sell a couple houses to get to that number. And, we sat down and I said, hey man, when do I get $100,000 check and a plaque on my desk? He's like, take some time. I've been doing this for 10 years. I said, okay. He's like, how long are you in the game? I'm like, I've been doing it for about a year. I flipped houses prior. Really good understanding of the process of the home, blah, 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 but I'm not getting referrals yet. And he goes, what's your process? And I go, what do you mean? I meet people at an open house. I do a presentation. He's like, what's the quality of your presentation? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I think it's pretty good. I assume it's good. I don't know. He's like, if you haven't analyzed your presentation, he's like, then people aren't going to fully trust your process because you haven't developed it. It's like a hocus pocus hodgepodge, which is better than 90% of the people. And I went back in that weekend, and just like I do, I locked myself in the room and I just sat there and looked at my buyer consultation because all my clients were buyers, right? I was brand new in the market. And I know that buyers eventually turn to sellers. I never thought I'd retire from real estate. I just crushed out that weekend and I was like, why am I asking such asinine questions? I looked at my sales call. I looked at what I was saying. I was buying Zillow leads at that point. I looked at what I was saying. I looked at my presentation. I looked at how I was asking and framing reviews and how I was asking and framing for referrals in the first meeting. And I realized I was doing a horrible job. I changed that. I just went deep in one weekend, right? And I changed that. Holy crap. People started putting my name on the Microsoft board. I started getting calls from randos all over town. And I'm like, how did you find me? Oh, so-and-so. Oh, so-and-so. Oh, and I was like, what? How crazy was it? Right? Because when you sit down and analyze why you do what you do, most of us just do, right? Yeah. Oh, I heard this, somebody's going to hear Jan and they're going to join Triz. That's a smart thing to do. But somebody's going to also hear this podcast and be like, Jan's got a letter stuffer, a handwrite type machine, like got $15,000 in the basement to stuff envelopes all day long. And they're like, oh my God, I want to do that. But they don't understand the process Jan uses. They don't understand that Jan's asking our community constantly, like, hey guys, what should I put this line here and this line here? Should I take this off? Should I put this on? Should I put sold for over, or should I put like, XY, like 6 offers, right? Like the little details that we miss is what people don't hear. They just hear, oh, I can go spend 15 grand and get 10 listings. Awesome. Let me go do it. But they don't realize the work that goes into it. And so like, if you are not analyzing your systems and processes, then don't expect the same results as somebody who has.
Yeah. I like to compare it to, we're all in the woods, right? And we all want to cut down trees. Some of us have a butter knife, some of us have an axe, and some people have a chainsaw. What do you have? And what do you want to have?
An axe. You came with an axe. You came good.
Trees are coming down, but not enough, right? And not enough for my goals and where I want to go. And it wasn't a profitable business, but the more efficient you get, the more profitable your business is going to be. The less you have to spend on marketing and other things, because you can convert people at Dunkin' Donuts or when you're getting gas. You can talk to anybody about real estate if you open the conversation, right?
I'm curious about like the stuff you're doing from a marketing perspective, because obviously like we know and we talk often, like all conversion happens in great conversation. Like you need to be able to have great conversation. And that it really, like you said, you joined Triz, but like from a marketing perspective, we were at the 7-figure sales summit in August, and you were doing some really cool things that you shared with everyone in attendance around like expired strategies, but also like, can you walk us through kind of like what you're doing right now that's working, that's even like creating the conversation to begin with, because you're doing some like outside of the box type of things that I think a lot of people will get some value from.
So the whole basis of my geo farm or a smart farm is I picked 3 zip codes around me because I don't want to work all over New Jersey. There's traffic and I'm tired. So I'm not trying to drive an hour away. So strategically, plus luckily I live in an area with nice homes, good schools. People want to live here anyway. So why would I farm anywhere else? So I picked 3 zip codes. And I'm like, I know what kind of homes I wanted to sell because I knew what kind of videos I wanted to make, because it all came back to like me making fun listing videos, because it's all about me. I'm just kidding. I just wanted to make fun listing videos of me on like rollerblades and skateboards and just cool stuff, so I could showcase the house. Can't do that with condos. So I the people most likely to sell those homes are a certain age. They make a certain amount of money. The house is a certain square footage. The home's a certain value. So I took all the houses and filtered it down to the homeowner's been there at least 7 years. They're 55 and older, which means it's likely the kids are in college. They have at least 30% in equity. It's worth at least $800,000. So that got me a 6,000 home list. And at first I was using Audience to send handwritten, like birthday cards, which worked really well and got me in a lot of houses, but I didn't know what to say when I got there. I know I was spending $5,000-$6,000 a month. They're like, you got a buyer, come over. I'm like, are you kidding me? This is so easy. But then I'm like in there and see the house and I'll be like, all right, see ya. Like I didn't know where to go from there. Right. So
we'll talk next Tuesday.
Yeah. See you next Tuesday. Looking back, like I must have lost 10 listings just from not knowing what to say. And that's like a lot of money. It's like $300,000 probably. So, and what's written on the card's really important too, and I had a marketing coach, before I joined with you guys for a couple of years. And he gave us really good sales copy of like, how to frame your, I have a buyer letter. They were calling it like Chris or James letters, basically making super personal with a QR code. Scan this to hear more about my buyer. That would get them pixeled either on YouTube or Facebook, which that was allowing me to warm up the audience, and them for me to meet them face to face, because I was never like a fan of door knocking. I'm like, this is really invasive. Like, I'm not going to do something I don't want done to me. I don't want somebody knocks on my door. They're either delivering Amazon or they're trying to kill us. Like, there's only two options. Which one is it? I don't see an Amazon box in your hand. That means I'm coming out there.
Can't be a pizza delivery guy. It's got to be like
no,
those two.
Because they don't ring the doorbell. They don't ring the doorbell. They leave it and walk away. DoorDash is set up that way. So we're either wrestling in the front lawn or there's an Amazon package. And I was like, I learned early on, you don't want to send the same offer every month. So let's say you have home value. I have a buyer, homeowner console or perfect home finder. Let's say you have 4 core offers. You just rotate them every 4 months or every quarter or every month. And now what I'm doing now, let's just fast forward to what I'm doing now.
Hold on. Wait, real quick. I think it's really important that people slow down, because like one of the biggest thing I get in my DM, and I'm not like a great copywriter, but I'm better than most because, we've had to do this for so many years. One of the biggest problems people have is they try to create everything unique, right? And it's just so, one, it's time consuming, and two, like I tell Cody, he's like, why don't you send emails out? Your open rate's insane. I'm like, I don't like creating the content for it. He's like, videos isn't hard for you. Cody doesn't like video as much, but he's really good at email. So he's really consistent as email, but he made it an effort. 2 years ago, we made an agreement with each other that we were going to create content every day for social. And so we became good at that, but people become really like real estate people like to be really cute instead of being effective. And I think one of the important things to take from this one is 4 core messages, right? What is your 4 core that you can always go back to? Because if you're really busy and you're stressed or you're overwhelmed, if you have your 4 core, you could just go back to that. And so like, what do you like? I think that's really good. What are you doing now?
So my 4 core now is buy now, sell later, which is literally the perfect offer if you think about it. Like, let's buy your next house off market at a low price, and then we'll sell your house on the market for a high price. Anyone who's thinking about moving that owns a home is going to love that offer. It's like, oh, I didn't even know you could do that, And, in the videos, I'll talk about like seller universe. One is about price. One is about convenience. Let's get you it just gets them into my process and shows them I have a process for moving, right? Then there's the traditional home value, scan here for your home value. That's a little played out now, but it still gets people interested who are thinking about selling. Then I'll just do perfect home finder for people who are just interested in buying. And then I'll do homeowner console, where you can manage your home value online yourself and manage like all your updates, and you could put your cars in there and other assets, where it's kind of like a financial tool. So that's going out. I'm actually only hitting, I'm rotating those every quarter.
Okay.
So sometimes those will be on postcards, or sometimes they'll be on letters. Postcards, I'll do in between the letter, because I can't do the letters every month, so it would be ridiculous if they got a letter every month. So I'll rotate postcards in there. Those are usually just listed or just sold on the front. And then on the back, I'll talk about the process for listing the home or the process for selling the home. And for those, I know my target audience is older people, 50 and up, who are tired, but they have money. So they want convenience. So I'll talk about like home design team, stagers, organizers, moving help, declutter experts. I'll just like throw those lead magnets in there. And a lot of people call up because like, oh, you just don't sell. He doesn't just sell real estate. He has all the people I need. And all these people I need are what are preventing me from selling, because I don't want to deal with the stuff in the basement or the attic. Like, a lot of people are not selling their home for stupid reasons. It's like, I don't want to look in the basement. I can't deal with the garage. Like, I'll deal with the garage. You go on vacation. When you come back, everything's gone. Like, oh, that sounds pretty good. So you don't even have, because people get emotional with their stuff because they've been there for 30 years. I try to use those lead magnets to reach my target avatar.
How much are you spending in mailers? Obviously we know that you're rotating these things every quarter.
Yeah.
how much are you spending in mailers? Like how many inbounds is it creating on a monthly basis? Are you tracking all that stuff as well?
I'm definitely tracking how much I'm spending. That all changes whether it's a letter, which has some labor involved, but they're actually cheaper to do versus postcards.
What's
but
the
I average
letters
it all
cost?
together. I get
What do you spend on average a month?
3,000,
So you're spending
4,000.
36,000 a year.
You good? Yeah.
And how much business did you do off of it last year?
I'd have to go back and look. I probably got
3 or 4 listings.
5-6 million. Yeah. 5 million in volume.
And where are you at with it this year?
I'll probably be just from mailers closer to 10, 12 million around there.
So double to almost triple
yeah.
off the same, actually less volume because right now you just can't handle the volume.
Yeah. If I had more help, I could probably do more.
You know, as we get close to wrapping up, there's a couple of things that jump out at me, and I'm sure there's some things that come to Cody. Some of the things that I was writing down is, one, Jan studied his market and created an avatar, right? Like if you guys hear what he did, it's not, most people are like, oh, I'm just going to start a farm. I was like, well, okay, that's cool. But you know, my grandparents are farmers. They're not going to put cherries in the ground where it's really good for peaches, right? Like that just doesn't make sense. What most people do is they throw money at something trying to solve the problem without putting in the effort because, you know, they're not taught. It's not your fault you weren't taught, but it is your problem. So the first thing I heard was I didn't want to drive far from my house. So the first thing was I found the people that were 7 years plus, 30% in equity, over a certain age demographic, in the zip codes I wanted to work. And I knew, and then I figured out, okay, if this person's 55 plus, they've been in the house for 7 to 10 years, they're making good money because the houses that you're going after are 800,000. So they're making good money. They've probably accumulated a bunch of crap. They've probably accumulated a lot of memories that's associated with that crap. They don't care about the stuff, but it's hard for them to let go of it because every time they see it, they're like, oh my God, honey, remember how cute he was in those little PJs? Oh, we can't get rid of those. We can never move, right? And so when I want to get into the psychology of this real quick, and Cody, you jump in. Otherwise, you'll never get to say a word if I'm talking. The psychology of it, because your parents are in the process of moving right now. The memories are worth everything. The crap is worth nothing, but you can't let go of that stuff because of the memories. And so what Jan did was he studied his avatar. He's like, all right, how would I feel if I had all this stuff? You don't find motivated sellers by selling a bunch of freaking mailers. Yeah. You create motivated sellers by selling them the opportunity to let go of a bunch of stuff and build a new chapter, right? And you're selling the future vision, but there are no such things as motivated.
It's everything we chatted about at the 7-Figure Summit. You know, I walked everyone through, like, you know, if you want to be actually good at marketing, like Jan is, like, you need to remember the 4 pillars towards actually building a successful marketing campaign. Number one is messaging. Real quick? Number one is messaging. Like if you don't have the right messaging to the right audience, your message falls on deaf ears. Like, you know, we call it like a dog whistle. Like, you know, you're getting the right message in front of the right audience. The second thing is targeting. You're targeting the right people with the right message. A lot of people are like, oh, we want the best targeting on social media, or we want to only target homeowners, but there's different subgroups of those homeowners. There's people that are looking to relocate. There's people that are looking to downsize. They all have different needs. They all have different wants. They all have different pains that keep them up at night, different fears, different aspirations. And we need to go deep into like, who are we trying to target? The third thing is the creative. Like you had mentioned, Jan, like, you know, you're rotating out the creative, but the creative actually speaks directly to the people we're looking to target. And the fourth thing is the medium, you know, like understanding that, okay, like, sure, you could run YouTube ads and you could get in front of them, but like, am I going to actually get in front of the right people using YouTube ads, or am I going to get in front of the right people, like buying that 6,000 person list and actually sending them mailers? If they're 55 plus, they're more likely to...
I'm putting a YouTube ad in an envelope and they have to open it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, exactly.
They can't avoid it because they don't know what it is.
And it's super smart. But you have to have before you create like a marketing campaign, you got to sit down and actually think, like, if you want farming to be successful, like, follow Jan's approach to marketing. Like, get really specific, really super clear on, like, who is it that you actually want to reach? Where are they most likely going to actually consume the content I'm giving them? And then rotate out the creative. Like, so I think it's genius what you're doing. Like, you're literally applying, the 7-figure real estate leads funnel, but you're doing it from you're sending them, like, you're going offline to online, which is really cool. So, it's cool. Like, when you mentioned that, like, that strategy at the actual event, I was like, that's super cool. Like, it's really cool to see what you're doing and kind of like the strategy behind how you're actually getting people to raise their hand to begin with.
A couple times a year too, I like to put in something that has nothing to do with sales or real estate or me making money. I'll do something about charity. I'll do a coat drive in the winter for homeless people in the area. I've got a listing coming up from that $1 million listing from collecting coats. Cost me absolutely nothing. And it was a nice thing. And I gave it to a church. And then I'll do some neighborhood-wide garage sales twice a year, one in the spring, one in the fall, which is all about me helping people get rid of their junk. But the funny thing about people getting rid of their junk is because they're doing it because they're going to move in the next 6 to 12 months. So now I'm meeting them. They're inviting me in their house, versus door knocking is like, the hell are you doing here? This is me. They're giving me their information, saying, come over, help me with the garage sale. So now I'm coming over, they're inviting me in their house, showing me around, and I'm getting listings that way too. Because it's not all about right hooks, It's about jazz too.
There's a lot of, obviously you're talking about Gary Vee's book, I would assume. So if you want to be a professional is what it comes down to. You need skills. You need marketing skills, right? You need the opportunities. You need the sales skills, right? You need the systems and the processes. It all works collectively, right? So where are you at right now, right? Like where, like if you stopped and took an assessment of your business, what do you need right now? Do you need the sales skills? I would say 95% of agents, even ones that you assume are doing well through more of an osmosis process than an actual laid out process. Mm-hmm. Do you not have enough opportunities, right? Don't confuse, I don't have leads ready to buy with I don't have leads. Because as you guys saw, Jan's talking to people who aren't necessarily ready to buy or sell, but when you hit them with the right thing, would you like some help with your junk? Yes. Hey, would you like some help with your buying a house before you have to sell? Yes. Oh my God, that's our biggest stress. So when you remove the friction layers, right? When you remove the friction layers, what happens is people become more receptive. And here's the thing that most agents don't understand, right, Cody? And Cody and I listen to hundreds of calls. I probably listen to a little bit more now than Cody does at this point, just because of our business evolution. But we've collectively listened to, 10,000 calls.
A lot of calls.
Most agents, they don't understand that the person that is planning with the prospect is the person the prospect always thinks about. And so if you can get the prospect to plan, even if it's a 12 to 18 month process, they're thinking, that guy that I can't remember his name off his head, but we have his card. He was really helpful. Like, he got us thinking about this and that. Honey, we should call him to sell our house. You'd be shocked at the calls you get when you sit down with more people to actually help them.
100% with you. We got to wrap up here, but Jan, if somebody were to want to reach out to you, maybe it's an agent-to-agent referral, maybe they want to learn a little bit more, they want to kind of pick your brain.
I got a piece of chocolate cake here. Oh, this is dangerous.
Well, good luck with that.
Thank you.
Go straight to your hips.
Thank you.
Stop it, Cody.
Jan, if somebody want to reach out to you, where's the best place we can send them?
You can just send me a message on Instagram at Jan-Michael Real Estate or, Facebook. Yeah. One of those social channels.
Awesome. Hey, want to say thank you for tuning in to another episode of the RG Podcast. I want to say thank you, Jan, for hopping in with us today and jamming a little bit about what you're up to, what you're doing. Super, super insightful. And we'll see you on the next episode.
Hey, and if you guys got any value from this, leave us a review, share this with somebody that might be looking to get into farming so that they have an actual successful farm instead of planting cherries where peaches should be at. And we appreciate you for subscribing, and leaving a comment below.
We'll see you in the next episode.